Good night, everybody. Blessings. Blessings to you. Welcome to another episode of the All Over It podcast. Tonight, February 9th, 2026. We have a good one in store for you. An interview. Yeah, man. Yeah. I ain't even want to really give you no more until the interview reach. Yeah. I just have to say, as usual, I thank you for taking the time out to come and spend it here with me. And as I always say, I just make sure bring you value. Every week I hear on the All Over It podcast. Good night, Carol. Blessings. Thanks for joining. Like I always say, if you hear, you watching, leave a little comment. Let me know you hear anything you hear in this podcast. If it intrigues you, if it's something that interests you, leave a comment. I want to hear what you're thinking. As I always tell you, I am on a journey to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I have people on my Facebook, but my YouTube side, we on a journey. So tell a friend to tell a friend. All Over It podcast. Good things alone. Value, only value we bring in. So, yeah, YouTube, Oliver, and Junior Williams. Trust me, you go there, you can find the whole repertoire of the podcast from episode 1 straight to 41. Yeah, everything and more. I recently posted a video on my trip to Borneo, so go check that out. Interesting stuff. Trust me, inspirational. Everything I do is inspirational. But yeah, anyways, as I say, today is a big one. We have big people. We have royalty in the place, let me say like that. We have people of stature, people of I can't even, at a loss for adjectives because just greatness. We in the presence of greatness right now. Simply, let me just say it like that. So, like I always tell you, I am bringing you value. And tonight, this person that I have the opportunity of interviewing, if you don't leave here with value, I don't know. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I could say, what else I could do. Yeah, real talk. So if you know this person, I want to see you leave a comment in the chat. And just know this is a family thing. Yeah. God bless. God know what he does do. And God's timing and God's plan is always great. So all we gotta do is trust in that. So my Facebook and YouTube family, I would like you to please help me welcome the illustrious, the great and grand. I tell you in the presence of greatness, Ife Badejo. Help me welcome her to this stage. Yeah. Welcome, Ife. Just
Thank
for those who
you.
don't know, AI marketing, AI professional, AI extraordinaire, marketing extraordinaire, consultant, trainer, you name it. What can Ife not do?
There's a couple of things, but there's a
Well,
couple of things.
welcome. Like I say, thank you for gracing us with your presence here on the All Over It podcast. You see, look, Carol in the chat, my girl,
I
Badejo.
see,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see. Big shout out to Carol. Big shout out to everyone who's
yes.
catching this live and also on the replay. Thank you so much, Oliver, for the warm introduction. I a girl from Samaritan with Nigerian roots.
Good.
That's to sum it up in a nutshell. I like kinip. I love to swim. I a island girl at heart. But because I love the island so much and I believe in us so much, I do a lot to help us move forward, especially in the modern world that we find ourselves in, particularly with things like AI. So I see a Shalom Ra there too. Hey, shout out to you and to all of everyone.
Yes.
I try to keep up too. I try to keep up with everybody on your um, podcast. And also, Oliver, I have to commend you. It is not easy to be this consistent. You're now on the 41 or the 42 podcast. Um, Media is work. We make it look easy, but media is work. And as a fellow colleague in this space, I know what it takes to stay consistent, to keep on the grind, and to keep moving forward despite everything. And you're showing that. So big shout out to you for just staying the course. We need more of these things coming from us.
I appreciate that so much, and I totally agree. And yeah, I, I need to say, I feel the need to say this week that passed, I sat in a workshop slash event that was about advancing our creative industry and
Mm-hmm.
the different industries outside of tourism, and
Mm-hmm.
something that was really touched on. But totally agree, and like I say, I really appreciate it. Love alone, that's all I could say. And yeah, uh, we gotta dive into this. We
Yeah, let's
we
hop
gotta
in.
get the people. Yeah, we gotta get the people
Let's
what they
right
gonna
in.
be. So
Yeah.
for those tuning in who may not know you as yet, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Like I said, born on the beautiful island of Simbate. I have to say it later. Every time I gotta say it later. Okay. So yes,
I love
that's
it.
it. Born at St. Rose Hospital. That's to show you how long ago I was born.
Mm, mm.
I aged myself a little bit. Um, I love the beach. I love island life. I love the community. I love the family. And I am very passionate about helping people to move forward. And so I have a consultancy called Islandpreneur International, and we do business and entrepreneurship and innovation development. All of it to say that we prepare people, we empower people to progress in paradise, right? So that's pretty much what we do. Um, and that has taken shape over the years in everything from public private programs. So, like the National Youth Pitch Competition that we did a couple of years ago, consecutively, or helping to launch the Samaritan Financial Literacy Month with the previous administration and then the current administration. To working with the US mission, to working with the central bank to do different kinds of programs, and or just corporate training with bigger organizations, or just hosting events like Islandpreneur Live and IP Fest to support our islandpreneurs to know what they need to know to scale their business and take it to the next level. So that's what I do professionally. Um, I am an artist at heart. I'm a creative at heart. I sing. I write poetry. I haven't done poetry in a while, though, to be honest. I got to do one or two things there. I do spoken word. Um,
Big.
and I'm an advocate for the arts. But I'm an advocate for island people and for our people moving forward. And I think oftentimes I wasn't at the event with the Ministry of TIAT last week. I was at the World Bank event last week, and I
Excellent.
was there. Yeah. And so, but one thing that Peggy Andros, Dr. Anders Peggy Andros Richardson said that went viral in our community is that we are grossly failing our people with all the things that we say, okay, there's economic growth, and is it trickling down to us? And I see an opportunity there to empower, like I said, our people to progress in paradise. And so that's where entrepreneurship development and trainings and business trainings come in. And especially in an AI era, now is now is the time.
Totally agree. How you say it? Helping professionals progress in paradise. I love it. I love it.
Empowering our people to progress in paradise. That's right.
Empowering our people to progress in paradise. I love
That's
it.
right.
I
That's
love
right.
it. And I we live in paradise for sure. You see, look, your background, even my background, I gotta make sure rep my
Yeah, yeah,
tongue.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
And yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I love the mission. And yeah, like you say, I was there with what she said, Peggy, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
as I say, she ate their food. But yeah, that was a real powerful day, I'll say, in general, because the various presenters that they really came with some good points. They really came powerful, but
And I think we should have the honest conversation, right? So we're going to dive in a bit now in a while about AI and business and the island advantage. And if we have the time, I'm happy to do a demo on how you can do different things because I love doing that. That's the stuff that gets me really excited. Um, but the real conversation is if we don't have the proper infrastructure in place, if you don't have the steady internet, if you don't have the ability to get paid online, if you don't have all of those other things, all of this is going to help with productivity, but it's not going to translate into transformational value. And that's what AI has an opportunity to give us. AI is leveling the playing field. I did some research on, I have been doing research on this. The gap, right? The knowledge gap right now in AI in the Caribbean, I'm not talking Latin America, I'm talking about the Caribbean islands and those that belong to CARICOM. That gap poses something of $146 billion opportunity. You heard what I just said? You heard what I just said?
a nice
A
chunk of
hundred.
change to tap into,
That's a
why?
nice chunk of change, and it's growing because what AI is also doing is that, in a way, it's widening the digital divide, right? Those who are already a little bit hesitant with technology are like, oh, I ain't touching this. And
Not too tech
then,
savvy. Yeah.
exactly. And then those that are like, oh, well, I'm curious, they get in. And then those that are in it still are in it from a consumer's perspective instead of a producer's perspective, right? And the value is on the production side of the equation, not on the consumer side of the equation. So we need to be producing more product services, add-on of value skills that allow us to really shift the economy. But like I said, if we don't have the infrastructure in place, it's going to be cute, it's going to increase productivity, it's going to give us a little bit more time, but it's not going to translate into that transformational value. And with the cost of living increasing at rapid rate, I'm talking about GB, I'm talking about rent, I'm talking about food. I mean, a family of four now is spending somewhere close to five, six, $700 on food a month. And that's on the low end. So we need to really get serious about how we're going to be moving forward and doing so in a way that we don't have to leave here because it's cheaper to live elsewhere, because that's also a reality.
Facts. Facts. Totally, totally, fully 100% agree. Like 1,000%, matter of fact. If we had a scale, you would have break it because Simple example. For me, God
Hmm.
bless. I have Starlink because I don't think I could have do this if without. Even like you say, a good example. I've been pushing, let me say, like certain systems like hydroponic systems and different things like that. And these are things that need constant power. And even the other day, I had some arugula in a propagation dome, and GB went for like an hour and stall them, mess up the whole thing. And from a business standpoint, look at it like this. If you now is like a supplier of, let me say, arugula to hotels, and
Exactly.
you already have your contract locked in, these people expecting in 2 3 weeks you got arugula. Now because of 1 hour,
Exactly.
that throw your whole operation off.
Exactly. We need to get serious about renewable energy. We need to get serious about getting paid online. We need to get serious about our telecoms. And listen, because we're a small island, people think, I like to say it like this. Let me track back a little bit. I like to say it like this. We live in a first world country with third world problems, right? So you see us on social media, you see us here and then, so you're thinking, oh my goodness, they have everything. They have it all to be able to do what they
Like
need to do.
like we advance, but we still behind in a way.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. And so I we need to get serious. And those things are not always easy or simple. Let me put it like this. They're easy, but they're not simple. So the problem itself can be complex, but if we are looking at really solving the problem, we will find a solution to solve the problem. It's as simple as that.
Like some people I know say, you just sometimes have to make the hard choices, and
You have to make the hard decisions. That's
sometimes,
exactly it.
yeah,
That's
sometimes
exactly it.
the unpopular choices that people might not always agree with, but they got certain things that you gotta do things for the greater good. But totally agree, totally agree, totally a
Mhm.
1000% agree. And at least I could say on that point that I would say that was the point behind those sessions last week, to come with a plan of approach to move forward. And
Mhm.
it always a be, yeah, just talk, and yeah, no action, no execution.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I'll say, and I've been saying this and I'm gonna say it here live, personally, I feel confident that the team that behind putting this together and actually getting this progress, I feel confident that they actually would do it, and it wouldn't be just talk and get pushed to the side and just nothing happen. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think St. Martin in general and our region in general, we don't lack ideas.
yeah, for sure
We don't-
not.
we are some of the more creative thinkers ever. We don't lack ideas.
Let's say like
Um,
execution.
we lack execution, and to an extent, we lack long-term vision. Everything is right in front of us. We're not thinking for
Consistency.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead. We still focus on how do we survive this upcoming hurricane season, which is important. That's important. But the lack of long-term vision is, has been a challenge over the years. And I agree with you that over the past few years, I'm seeing a shift. I'm seeing different things happening in different areas, not just on a governmental level, but on different areas within our community. I just think that we need to have more of a concerted effort together to move things forward, right? So if you look at Barbados, the reason why they're moving forward is because everybody walking in one direction. 90% of them walking in the same direction. That's it. And I think that that's how we need to move forward.
I agree. I agree. Everybody
All
gotta
right, so
understand
let's
the collective goal though. But yeah.
exactly.
People might
We're
think that
talking about
this
other
is
things and not AI. So let's talk AI and business and Island Advantage because I see in the
people
time
might think that
want
this
to
is
take your time.
the conversation, the interview lineup, and not even. Look, yes, I can dive into the next question for sure, but I just want to shout out, Ray in the chat, and my boy David. As I always tell you, me and my boy David certified. Just gotta let her, But
Oh yes,
anyways,
congrats.
love alone. But anyways, moving on. Like how we touch on all these things, and you did kind of touch on this a little bit, but I want to hear you this. I want to hear you answer this from your
Mhm.
mouth personally. Being as you founded Islandpreneur,
Mhm.
I'm curious to know where the idea came from and what problem you was trying to solve when you started.
I love that question. I'll try and give you the short answer. So I wanted to do something online. This was in 2018, 2017, somewhere there. And let me go back a little bit. January of 2017, a journalist friend of mine interviewed me. He said, "Hey, Ife, you're always promoting small business. Um, we want to have an interview with you." I said, "Sure." And in my frustration, I said, "Small businesses will die without online payments," right? This was January of 2017. We all know what happened September of 2017. That was Irma. It's known, if you Google it, it will say Irmageddon because 4 million people out of 44 million people in the region were impacted by Irma. And St. Martin being one of the worst hit, if not the worst hit by that particular hurricane. I lost everything in the hurricane, had to start back from scratch, whatever. That's not a unique story. That's why I say whatever. It's not that I'm being insensitive. It's just everybody had to start back over from
The
Irma.
reality.
Yeah, I'm no exception. Um, and then fast forward 2018, I was online. I was starting my business at the time, Power Agency, and I was online, and I wanted to get paid online because I'm like, okay, the economy is still, recovering, but nowhere there yet, and I can do stuff online to get money in. And I made a post, um, Confessions of an Islandpreneur. And it just came off like that. And then somebody messaged me in my network, an old school friend, and he said, "Listen, if you don't take Islandpreneur, I can take it." And I said, "Don't you dare touch it. Don't you touch it, sir." So then in that same year, we launched the top 40 under 40 Islandpreneur. We just wanted to acknowledge different people, whether they were in a job or had their own business, who were innovative and doing things in a very digital and modern business way. And 2020, we were going to do this big, large event in person. And guess what happened?
COVID.
Remember? Exactly. Global pandemic. So Islandpreneur Live went live. Before all of this live stuff, you didn't hear about that really in 2020 on St. Martin, at least not that much. So we went live and we had 650 people registered, 500 people over 3 days. We had a billionaire on there. We had Leslie Samuel from St. Martin on there. We had all the smart people that we could find around the world, 35 different countries registered. And I was like, oh crap, okay, we here. And
Everything.
we had a partnership of the central bank at the time. And then that, birthed Islandpreneur. And so from there, we've continued with programs and projects to support what I like to call Islandpreneurship and helping our people to go to the next level in their businesses. And then within Islandpreneur 2023, in 2022 in November, Leslie, good friend of mine, um, messaged me. He was here and we caught up. And he said, Ife, let me show you something. And he showed me ChatGPT and Midjourney. And I was like, oh, and it had just come out. Like it had just come out. So the following year in Islandpreneur Live 2023, we did a 2-day workshop. So Leslie, throughout those 2 days, we had different things going on, but Leslie did a workshop on AI on ChatGPT 2 days. And then in 2024, he did it again for IP Fest, which was more women focused. We did it on St. Martin and in Curacao. And then in 2025, we birthed AI Islands. So it's been a journey.
A journey, sir,
Yeah.
especially with the ups and downs we face here
Oh, yeah.
in our region. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
a blessing. That's a blessing to
Hmm.
start there to reach to this point.
Yeah.
Start from
It has
just a
been
text.
fascinating.
Start from just a text like, yeah, entrepreneur.
Yeah. It has been the craziest ride. I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been the craziest ride. And it has opened up so many different doors for myself and for St. Martin and for the people that I am blessed to work with and for the people that we get to serve. And so I'm very grateful.
Imagine the doors and the people and connections. Like anybody who know you, they must know. Like anytime you see Ife, social media is some other training, or either she hosting something or she facilitating on somebody else event. Like I feel so honored to have Ife here on this podcast because Ife is a very busy woman. Her schedule is packed. So just know, are you listening? Just know it's value. Okay, good. Just gotta tell you, But yeah, no, for real, that's a blessing, and I really happy for you for that journey that you experience, and like you say, it's still moving forward. It's still going
Oh
on.
yeah. Oh yeah. There's some things in 2026 that it's too early for me to share right now, but there's some things that we're cooking up. In
In the
addition to
works.
workshops for AI and things of that nature, where I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Talking about that, I have David say we need more than one podcast with Miss Badejo. Yeah, and I agree. I second that motion, and I have to tell you a secret. So David actually attended one of your events when I was
Oh,
in in Colombia. David was by one of the events. He checking, yeah, I hear about Ife is talking about AI, and she got this one presenting and she talking about this, and I check it, yeah, man. I love that you there, bro. Real talk. Yeah, yeah. It made me feel like I was there.
yeah,
It's like the team advancing still, type vibe.
yeah.
And yeah, just
And
love.
I'm happy to see how many people are jumping onto AI, even from a perspective of curiosity on St. Martin. I think uh, oftentimes when people talk to me, they go like, yeah, people are scared about it, right? And I'm like, actually, my experience is that people are excited. They want to know more. Yes, there are concerns. Yes, we need to talk about concerns like cybersecurity. Yes, we need to talk about AI ethics. Yes, we need to talk about, um, being very diligent so that you don't get
Yeah,
scammed out of certain
privacy
things.
and yeah.
Yes, we got to think about privacy. Yes, we even got to think about the planet because there is so much water. What people don't realize is that because of AI, there's so much water that's being consumed to cool down all of these different data centers because they just can't keep up. Um,
Energy
fun-
consumption too.
the energy consumption. And fun fact, Anguilla, this year alone, Anguilla surpassed 2,000 registrations of .ai per day. Okay, per day
Since 2026 start?
since 2026 start.
No man,
Ah,
we need to get we need to get SX, something with SX right now, because Jesus.
Facts.
Woo!
Facts.
Woo!
They half of their government budget right now, half of their income for their government budget right now, half, not a third, not a quarter, half, 50% is coming from .ai registration
Blow my mind, like 2,000 something a day. Yeah, so
a day.
I got my boy Clem in the chat. Big up Clem one time. But yeah, Clem, like, so just to give him a little context on what you're talking about. So now that AI has come such a big thing, Anguilla, which is one of our neighboring islands, they already have the domain that AI as their like island domain. So they own that. So
Mhm.
now that all of these islands, I mean, sorry, all these domains coming online for AI, they getting royalties whenever it come with that AI. And
Yep.
yeah, they just, yeah, they got to write code
It's
self.
like
They got to
it's
write
like
code themselves.
listen, it's like, back in the day, you could get a plot of land, a sizable plot of land in Don Beach for like $20,000, right? Back in the day, say in the late 80s, early 90s, you could get land in Don Beach for $20,000. I know this for sure. That same land now is worth $240,000.
At least,
Okay.
yeah.
So what they did was they got in on the real estate early and let it sit.
Now they cashing out big. Yeah.
I
40
mean,
million a
somebody
year. Yeah.
said somebody said 40 million a year. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat now too. So this is what's happening right now. And there are different ways that we can benefit from it. Not all of it has to be digital, right? So, for example, a lot of the conferences and stuff of that nature, if you put on something really good on the islands, people are going to want to come to the islands. I mean, we don't have to sell sea, sand, and sun. We don't have to sell that. People want that. We have to sell that we know what we're talking about. We have to sell that we are also experts. We have to sell that AI is for us too. And that's one of the reasons why I started AI Islands.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, just to ask, so before AI became such a big part of your work, your focus was mainly marketing and consulting.
Well, more business development, but part of business development is marketing. So a lot of PR work that went into the kind of work that I did because it also was to help bridge. I'm a bridge builder, so it's to help bridge the relationship with government, with corporations, and the public, and do so in a way that made sense, do so in a way that educated our people, do so in a way that empowered our people. And so that's where a lot of my energy went into. Of course, marketing is a big part of it. And then when people saw the things that I would produce, they would go like, oh, she must be paying a graphic designer and have somebody on call. And for most of the stuff that I did when I didn't have the funds, I used Canva. I got onto Canva very, very early. Canva also has an AI suite with the paid version, obviously, but without the paid version and without Canva AI, you could still do a lot of really cool graphics and things of that nature. Um, and I use things like this, like StreamYard, to be able to do different kinds of things. I mean, in 1 year, I did 60 virtual events. Either I was hosting it or helping with the production on the back end. So we also at one point were even offering digital and hybrid event services because a lot of people didn't know how to do that at the time. And we got good because we did like 60 of them in 1 year. so,
Uh,
so that was averaging more than one a week, just to give you some context. And so that's the kind of work that we did. AI, we have always been, and that's one of the things that I want people to really understand. Myself, my team, Islandpreneur has always been at the forefront of what innovation and what's coming and what we need to survive in a 21st century modern business environment. We have always been. We talked about fintech a bit earlier on. We've been having those discussions publicly, privately, behind closed doors. I mean, I've even gone all the way up to Google Pay and spoken to the royal family about getting paid online. So we have always been at the forefront. Just AI now is like going wildfire. And so we wanted to continue to stay at the forefront.
Just just on that point, food for thought. Your family does always find a way. Yeah, man, I like you say, solution oriented. Me, yeah. Thing I stop we. Yeah, you check. So like you say, things difficult here, especially when it comes to getting paid online and thing. But like me, I embrace Wise very much. I like the Wise
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Yeah,
And
wise too.
yeah, and like I tell people, however you want, pay me. We could make it work. Crypto, anything, like
Mm-hmm.
we can find a way. So, but I totally agree. Here in St. Martin, things should be a little more streamlined, especially given our level of advancement. And
Mm-hmm.
even I know they had this CX Pay platform that
They
was,
still do.
well, exactly true. You're right.
Mhm.
It's still active. But is not comprehensive in the sense of when you speak to users, they mention like, okay, it's mainly for a specific set of banks on the island, and then like other banks it don't work with. You have another platform that is used that other bank can.
So let me okay, I can go back to my fintech days.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back because I'm still in it. Okay. I'm working more behind the scenes these days when it comes to fintech stuff. Um I see in some comments I want to address something. Um Revolut is not in St. Martin because of a different reason, and it has nothing to do with central bank per se. Okay, so that's one. I can't give too much more than that, but I'll just leave that there. PayPal does not want to be in St. Martin from a perspective of um, us receiving money. Now, they will take our money. We could go ahead and buy whatever we want with PayPal. So the money can go out, but the money can't come in. And that is also because of um, the fact that we don't have the numbers that they look at. When I went to Google Pay, so the US mission flew me out to Palo Alto. We did a whole pitch with Stanford University for Stanford University to help us solve this problem on St. Martin. Okay. And during that, we had a meeting with Google Pay. Google Pay was very clear that um, their numbers, their minimum numbers is 10 million of a population. Now we have 44 million people in the Caribbean, but we also have 34 different regulations and administration. And so it's not as if we have a unified front that they like a block, like the European Union. CARICOM has some elements of it, but not the same way how the European Union has it. And um, and then St. Martin is also not a part of CARICOM. Um, and the last time I checked, there was an associate status that we were going after, but I don't think we ever really got it. I don't think it got finalized. So that's the thing. And I happened to be invited to the roundtable with the central bank last year, as well as other key players. CXP was one of them, the different local banks, the bankers associations, all of that. There is a very big challenge, not just for Samartan. This is a regional problem. So guys, don't think it's just a Samartan problem. It is a regional problem. That's why the Bahamas created their own sand dollar. That's why you have different fintech companies in Curacao. That's why you have BitPay, which is a Bitcoin cryptocurrency out of Barbados. That's why you have so many different island solutions. You have WePay in Jamaica and Trinidad, I think it is. You have my good friend Mark has Wham out of Trinidad, but we don't yet have a regional solution. And the problem is with cross border payments because of Financial Action Task Force and anti money laundering laws that are, in my opinion, my humble opinion, unfairly and disproportionately stricter in the Caribbean region than in other places around the world. And so because of that, you need to navigate this space a little bit better. It's going to get better. We're going to find a solution, but I just have to give you a little bit of context because the first thing people do is they blame the central bank, and it's bigger than the central bank. I promise you, it's bigger than the central bank.
I love it. I love it. Look, my viewers, value. You're not. You can't tell me that one answer there ain't just all the value you need for tonight. You
Like
know?
literally, I've spoken to people from MasterCard, I've spoken to Google Pay. Like I have a very in-depth knowledge, unlike most people, because I spent more than 8 years talking to people about this problem. And
No, but
so
I
I
I
wanted to just
totally
make sure that people understood.
and I totally understand where you're coming from. It's even like how you reference like the EU and so on. It's like a more unified front. Like how they say, divided you fall, united you stand. If we as a Caribbean was to come together as the Caribbean and say, look, we working together is we, and we want this, we could get a lot done. But
Yeah.
like you say, we
Like you have a
so
European central bank that monitors all of the things that are happening, right? And you do have the EC Central Bank, the East Caribbean Central Bank, which is coming from CARICOM as well to ensure that EC dollar. But then what happens to St. Martin? What happens to Curacao? What happens to Aruba? What happens to Best Islands? You understand what I'm saying? Curacao is an associate member of the CARICOM now. And I think we need to also collectively, as a people, put pressure um, on some of these institutions and have this discussion in a different way. Because guess what? If I want to do business in Angola, that's cross border, but it takes me 20 minutes on a boat to go to Angola. If I want to go to the French side, that's cross border.
thank
Okay.
you.
And may you we'd be in Rambo area every weekend, every other weekend, because that's where our blood and roots also lie, right? Um,
Mhm.
if we want to do anything with St. Kitts, Nevis, um, even Sable and Stacia, like we have to think as a region, and many of these systems are not set up for us to prosper as a region. And so we have to be very intentional about how we want to do business.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Like the systems wasn't set up with our region in mind. They were set up
No,
for, let me say, a different region, but then just used as cookie cutter. But now, like you say, these is places when you at a certain point in St. Martin, you could see St. Kitts, you could see Sable, you could see Angola, you could see St. Martin. Like
I
these is
see every
places.
day Saints, Sable, Stacia, every single day when I get up.
Thank you.
When I get up and I look out from Mary's Fancy, that's what I see. So these are the reality is that when people say, "Oh yeah, but if you could get paid online, you could just get a transfer and this and that's for St. Martin to St. Martin. But if the cost of St. Martin is high, the population of St. Martin is low, I'm going to need to go to different markets to be able to afford to live comfortably in paradise, or else I will always be struggling. And like my Niger people, they say, I was not made to struggle. Oh.
Mhm.
So we need to be able to be intentional. You understand what I'm saying? And to your point, together we're better. So doing business with my friends, family, and friends side, Angola, St. Kitts, Nevis, St. Bat, Sabre, Stacia. That's how many islands I call out there? That's already 7, 8 islands. That's just Northeast Caribbean. I'm not talking about my friends further down south, further to the west. I'm not even touching the US. I'm not talking about tourists. I haven't even gone there yet. But if we don't understand that, and for most people who are the decision makers, they earn enough to live comfortably on Samaritan. So they don't see it or feel it the same way.
Facts. Facts. I You said it best. I can't even rebut or give even no add to that. Totally
But
right.
Oliver, we still ain't talk AI yet, you
Thank
know.
you. Look, my viewers, I wouldn't even believe we only get through 3 questions. Conversation hat. Woo. Like my bye, David say bye. We need you back here for sure. But anyways,
I'm
like
happy to come back. I'm happy to come back.
like I gotta ask this. I gotta ask this.
Lion says we need 3 more episodes.
Ooh, think of my clip for that one time. Ooh, ooh. I love that one. I love that one. Okay. Yeah. So getting back to the questions, the actual point of I gotta ask you this. I have to ask you this one.
Okay.
I know you tell me that your friend come and show you Midjourney and ChatGPT, but was there a specific moment where you realized that AI is going to change how business operates?
The minute he showed me ChatGPT,
That same moment,
that same moment, November 2022,
22.
it
Yeah.
was on day 5. In 5 days, ChatGPT had already 1 million users. And then that was day 5. It was on the 5th day or the 6th day that he showed it to me. And when he showed it to me, I was like, what? And this is early. This is not the new and improved ChatGPT 5.2 that's out there now with all kinds of good stuff. This is the early version of it. And in that moment, I was like, no, next year you got to come and you got to teach this and you got to do this and you got to do that. And to be honest, I was still like, this is cute. This is a nice little tool. But to your question about when I knew it was going to change business, in that moment, when I knew it was going to change my business, was really when I started to double down on it a little bit more intentionally. It was last year going into 2024, going into 2025. I just doubled down on it. I knew that this was going to be a game changer. I kept on seeing it and I said, okay, Ife, let's take it serious. I had the privilege of spending New Year's in Switzerland by a good friend of mine. And so over the holidays, I just was eating it up. I gave myself a little bit of grace though. I didn't open up my laptop until like the 7th or 8th day of January. But before I left, I was eating it up. After I left, I was eating it up. And so last year, especially, I was like, no, there is no way that I can talk about business and not talk about AI. There's just no way to do that in 2025. And that was true. And now in 2026, even more so because the adoption rate. So in the past, I think it was 1 million users in 5 days, and I think in 2 months it was 100 million users. It took Netflix 8 years to do what ChatGPT did in 2 months. The
Everybody.
numbers don't lie.
Yeah, everybody
Li-
had ChatGPT.
Listen, I am, and here's, you know what's also interesting, Oliver? Let me talk about AI and business in the islands, right? Um, Latin America and the Caribbean account for 0.1%. That's 1/10 of 1% of the production of AI in the world. However, we are the 3rd fastest adoption regions in the world. Remember, I tell you the value is on the producer side, not the consumer side. So, what AI allows us to do is to actually produce, even if it's add-on services. Like I don't know how to code. That's my brother and my sister. They know how to do those things. I don't know how to code. My brother is the head of IT for government. My sister's a data analyst for Meta. they know how to do that stuff. I'm the weird one out. I'm just this visionary chick that says, "Hey, we need to do business in paradise." That type of a thing, right? And the I've already created, I'm up to now my 12th app, just sitting in my back office waiting for the right time, because for fun I like to code. It's called vibe coding, for those of you that want to know. You can use different types of tools. There's several of them out there. um, and so I think also right now the interesting part is, because there's so many different tools and there's so much information on AI, is about knowing who actually knows what they're saying and who can guide you through the noise. And so that's why we do a lot of workshops. That's why we launched, soft launched the AI Academy. That's why we have AI Islands, so that you can hear from myself and other experts in the field about what you need to know about AI. It's not just the tool, it's how you need to think. It's about understanding that artificial intelligence is first and foremost artificial. It can and will make mistakes. It's about understanding that you have to have three critical skills right now if you're going to thrive in an AI era as a human being. You need to have strong communication skills. That includes how you prompt, but also you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to give your thought, right? Um, those of you watching this now, you could tell that this is not AI because we're having a live discussion, right? But that's also because of how we're communicating. You can hear on the videos when it's AI, they have a particular cadence and they talk a little bit, it's getting better though. It's getting better these days, but still, you could tell. Which brings me to my next skill. You need to be a critical thinker. You need to have a level of discernment. You need to be able to understand what's true and what's not true. And you need to be able not to take everything at face value. You need to be able to do your own research and understand it for yourself. Too often, as island people, we run with a headline and we don't read the article. You need to be able to read the article, not just go after the headline.
Right
And
on.
then the last one, which is actually to me the most important one, you need to be creative. AI cannot create. It can mimic creation, but that's based on what you feed it, right? But it can't create the creativity sauce, the nuances, the taking different experiences and different knowledge and skills and bringing it together is you. And as an individual, every single one of us that was born under the sun was born, this is my firm belief, from a creator who has given us all creativity. It may not look the same, but we all have it. And so those are the three skills that we all need to have in a world of AI to be able to set us apart, in addition to knowing AI, because the people who know AI will replace the people who don't. And that's just facts.
Amen. Like I always say, people that say they're afraid of AI, but AI ain't gonna take your job. It's the people who know how to use AI who's going to take your job. Plain and
Yeah.
simple.
And when they're hiring nowadays, especially in those bigger companies in the States and in Europe and in Canada and all of those places, they're looking for your AI skills. They're actually looking to see, do you have AI skills? They don't even want to talk to you if you don't have AI skills nowadays, because it means that you're going to slow down their production and now they want to go at a particular speed. So it's really important. And also, here's the reality of it. The reality of it is that AI works when other people are sleeping. AI doesn't take a day off necessarily, although the other day Claude had a moment and I was like, hey guys, get it together, right? Um, AI doesn't come with an attitude. Well, Claude can give you a little bit of an attitude though, but yeah. AI
I
in
see some
general
of your
doesn't.
chats there.
Oh my
I see you.
goodness. I tell you, I could come up with a book called Conversations with AI, because Claude, oh my God. Chatty G, she have her Chat GPT, I had to call her Chatty G. She'd have her pom poms for me. She's like, you know what? You good girl. You go ahead. And Claude would be like, listen. The
Yeah,
other
I
day I
ain't gonna
told
lie.
Claude, you're harsh. And you know what Claude told me? I had to be. you needed to hear it. I'm like, oh,
Reality check.
okay then. Yeah. But I mean, say all of this to say that when you have a lot of people who are actually just passing time at the job and not really adding value to their job, they're going to definitely be replaced. And that we've seen it over and over again. We've seen it when writers started to be replaced by typewriters, it started to be replaced by computers, and now we're seeing it with AI.
It'll be in in life. It'll be a shift. After a certain period of time, you'll have a shift or like a age, a age shift, from industrial age to,
Yeah,
the technological age and
yeah.
such and such. So honestly,
And
right now, just
I'm happy you said that. Sorry to cut you off, Oliver. I'm happy you said that. I want your audience to understand something. What you said there, people may have heard it and taken it lightly, but I want to pause right here for a second. We are in the information age. It's called the fourth industrial revolution, 4IR. You can go to the World Economic Forum and learn more about it. We have been in that age, but it's been like a slow, like a kind of a little increase. What AI is now doing is it is accelerating that in unprecedented ways and rates. And so, because this is happening now, we are at the beginning of something that will change life for the next 50 to 100 years. And that's why it's so important that we need to stay engaged.
agree, agree. And even to your point about communication, being able to communicate firstly to the AI, but also let me say when you get back your output, being able to communicate the information that you receive is important. Just like you say, communication is important. Having that critical thinking is important. And like you say, the last one, you need to be creative. You need to be, like you say, a visionary, somebody that coming up with ideas and your mind running. Because like you say, AI need that input. You have to put something into it for you to get it out. That's what people don't realize. Like I say, it's a tool, just like a hammer, just like a drill. If you want to drill a hole, you pull out your drill. Well, this here is like you trying to advance your idea or your intellectual property faster. Can we just put it like that? So instead of, let me see, you want to write a book, it'll take you months. Now maybe it might take you a week or a couple of days. Like if you wanted to, like you say, put together an app, you'd have to sit down with a team, developers, this man working on this section, this man working on that section, then you gotta put it together, fix all the bugs, then do all the testing, still go back, check, back check, back check, back check. Now, like you say, just like you say, and this podcast self, my boy David could attest to this for sure. My boy Clem could attest. I have a few episodes where I talk about AI and using AI for, let me say, monetizing AI for your life. So using it to actually make money and,
Mm-hmm.
just using AI to help better your life, period, advance whatever you're doing, and I mentioned I had an episode where I talk about how I became an AI consultant. So I'm actually certified through AI Innovation as a AI consultant. I shared some of the process, let me just say, you
Mm-hmm.
know, my experience going through the process. And I even share about creating custom GPTs, simple things as like you say, using Canva or now with the Canva AI, like I create presentations so easy. Like I literally just put in the outline.
Do
Give me
you
some
know Gamma?
yes, I know Gamma AI. And I
Okay.
use it from time to time. Sometimes she'll be a little overkill for me. Let me put it like that.
No,
And
Gamma's my girl. Gamma's
I
my
know.
girl.
And
She my
even the
dear.
other day, me and my boy Joe, he had a presentation and he had used Gamma. and it come out lovely. You know, I
Good.
rate it very nice, nice visuals, everything. You know, and it like you say, tools. It got so much tools now to do whatever you need to do. Like
But
I show. Mhm.
let's pause here about the monetization of AI. So, for those that may be listening, didn't get it, what are some of your top two ways of making money using AI?
So I would say one of the easiest ways is to create a custom GPT because you put in the instructions, you give it the guidelines, the parameters, you make sure you put your guardrails, and this now is whether a chatbot or some means of, let me say, a company using it for helping their process. So even for onboarding, like personally in my current business that I started, I putting together a custom GPT for onboarding and training of my employees. Check it, like I have
Love it.
an employee right now. I put together SOPs and things. I share it with them, but I check in now. Once I create a custom GPT, I could just send them
Mm-hmm.
there everything they need, whether they need to refer back to the SOP or they
Mm-hmm.
could do little quizzes to test their knowledge, all these different things. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one thing. An easy
Mm-hmm.
thing to do is create like designs. So like how we say using Canva or
Mm-hmm.
whatever platform people choose.
Mm-hmm.
Or one thing I also mention is for me, I have some experience in video editing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned using whether CapCut or even Opus
Mm-hmm.
Clip, like we
Mm-hmm.
talk about, but even CapCut now gets so much more advanced since I've been using it
Mm-hmm.
like up to last year
Mm-hmm.
because certain things for like let me say color correction or
Mm-hmm.
audio enhancement now it's just a click of a
Mm-hmm.
button, you know, whereas first you had to go move the wheel, make sure you get it at the right, you know. So for me personally, it has been a big positive, and like I said, I share that in at least 3 to 4 episodes on this podcast.
Yeah.
Whereas I check in, I gotta put together a AI series. I have a financial literacy series, but I need to do an AI series now.
I
This
think you
upcoming.
should.
Yeah.
There's several people on St. Martin that are doing really good work in the AI space, myself included. But there's others that are also doing some really great stuff with AI. Definitely custom GPTs. I think for many people they may not understand what that means, but if you're looking at the international audience, they also don't understand, which is good because then you automatically become a thought leader from that perspective, right? Um, and I have a good friend of mine that does custom GPTs in under 30 minutes. Like in under 30 minutes, he could just pop, 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 pop. He's created at least five of them for himself for different things in his business and in his personal life.
I have two
So
right now.
yeah. For SOPs, standard operating procedures, for those of you that are unaware what SOPs mean, scribehow.ai, I think it is. But Scribehow is really a powerful tool that you can use. um, it will ask you what window you need to open up, and it will take everything that you do, everything that you click, and automatically go step by step what it is that you're doing, and then spit out a link that you could share with anybody for them to go through and get, like, this is how you do this. So really amazing. Um, and on the other side of things, like if you're a little creative, if you like to do presentations, people don't want to actually learn. They want things done. So you charge them to do what it is that you learned how to do. So if you're good with Gamma with presentations and you know how to edit it right and to prompt the visuals so they're more authentic and to make sure that the branding is on point and all of that kind of stuff, which I know how to do, um, then you can charge for that for people who have presentations, and then you that's an opportunity. If you are into something really amazing, like, I don't know, if you're into hair, if you're into nails, if you're into coconut water, you can create simple videos, an ebook, something, and sell it. I mean, it's not rocket science. So when you hear AI, don't only think about the tech. Um, think about, don't only think about the tech. Think about, okay, what am I into, and how can I use this technology to really monetize and make something for myself?
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Like how you say you have apps. I created an app which is I'll say a three-in-one. I call it Life Tracker. It's a financial tracker
Yeah,
slash
incredible.
task manager slash task manager and journal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of all in one. But I totally agree. It's just a matter of finding your lane, finding what works for you. Think about what you just do, what resonates with you, and see how the AI could help benefit your life and propel your life.
And the wonderful thing about AI right now is that you can get to experiment for little cost and in little time, right? So you can do a lot with ChatGPT, Claude, and all of these different tools with the free version. If you want more, get the paid version. But you could go ahead and experiment and be like, okay, well, let me see how this works. Let me see what I can put together here, edit it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Production beats perfection. It just needs to be produced and out of the door. So my rule of thumb is, can I live with it 80% of it? And then it's out the door. Um, because what we like to do, it has to have the right this and it have to have the right that and it have to have the right this. And I guarantee you, the people that are making money don't have the right nothing. They just have something on offer that people willing to buy that solves a problem. So
Something
that's
working and they milking it.
they have it out there, and for us we need to the perfect moment and the blah, 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 blah. No, put it out there. The market will tell you if they want it or not. So before I even put out something, I had just mentioned it and people were already asking me for it. I said, okay, well, I'm running down this road, you know what I mean? um, and that's how I think we need to think of our business, as opportunities to grow. And then as you move along, you will learn, you will develop, you will figure out, okay, this part of the business I'm not that strong in. I can need AI here, or I need a team member here, or I need a mentor here, whatever the case may be. But when it comes to monetization, too many people are sitting on gold mines, and the most wealthiest place you can find on the planet is a graveyard, because that's where all of the ideas and the solutions live.
Yep, yep. They gotta say many businesses world over crash and burn, especially because of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Anyways, I totally agree.
It's already 8:50.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when we're having fun.
Oh gosh. So, like you say, we've done been discussing AI, but I got this question for you, especially
Hmm.
these days. To your point earlier, a lot of people have been adopting AI and kind of embracing it more.
Hmm.
But I've been seeing like a lot of pictures of people posting themselves, in AI. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Everybody, even people that ain't doing nothing with AI,
Hmm.
posting their AI picture, and I check in like I love
Hmm.
it. But let me ask you this: what's the difference between using AI casually and using AI strategically in a business? Even and then,
I um I love that question. Casually, you're doing it for fun. Like, for example, when I, a couple of times, I'm like, I haven't gone to the shop yet. I gotta make something for dinner. So I took ChatGPT, took a picture of what I have in the fridge and in the pantry, and be like, listen, this is what I want to create, or this is what I'm thinking of, but I don't know how to make this together. And there's like, oh girl, I love this. You could do this, you could do that. And then it also gives me pictures of ideas so that I have inspiration. And then it gives me a whole way of cooking something, and then I go ahead and cook it, and I'm like, oh, that was good. And then I take a
That's
picture back and be
helpful.
like, this is I listen,
I
I
never think
that's
about that. I never think about that one. You give me an idea now too, Sam.
oh yeah,
Casual
I
side.
use that's on the casual side, right? That's on just quality of life. Um, because sometimes you go like, but what I could do with all of this, and so it created something for me. I created something, and then I even took a picture, sent it back, and they were like, okay, this is great. Next time you can add this, that, and enhance it like that. For example, that's a casual way of using it. If I was a cook, if I was a chef, I could now monetize that in a different way, because now um he said, don't help him, we have a cookout walk coming. Okay then. Um, but if I was a cook, now I can create signature dishes, right? And ask it to come up with signature dishes that I can either use on a menu or put in a cookbook, or create for a special event, whatever the case may be. So that's the difference. One is just enhancing the quality of your life, and the other one is actually creating value for your business so that you can monetize and grow. And it's not, value is not just in money, value is also in time. So if it's going to save me a lot of time, it still adds a lot of value to my business, because these days people pay for speed and convenience. So those are the things that you want to look at when you're looking at how do I use it. Um, Sometimes I use it to vent, or to, like, rewire how I see something, or reframe how I see something. This happened. What do you think? Act as a cognitive behavioral therapist. How should I see this? Because these are the behaviors that I want to achieve, or whatever the case may be. But I'm not a therapist, so I'm not going to use it to create a framework to think. But as a business, and you talked about IP is the magic sauce for our island businesses. We don't register enough IP. We have the Bureau for Intellectual Property. They have been a partner for us for years now. This is not a plug. We haven't partnered on anything specifically this year, but this is a tool, a resource that is so underutilized by us. So frameworks, names, like I said, menus for stuff, fashion. You could even trademark dance moves. There are choreographers that make money off of their dance moves. So you can use AI to help you strategize, to help you think through your business as a strategic partner as well. And that's one of the things I think is important. And if you want to go a little bit further, then you create your own GPT that trains your GPT on your business, and then supports you and acts as your business coach and strategic advisor.
I got chief of staff. Okay,
Your
good.
chief of staff.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I love it. Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Hey, Clem make me laugh there. I ain't even gonna touch that till later. Ooh. So you host automation bootcamps where
Mm-hmm.
people build real systems in a few hours. So let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you this: what exactly is an automation in business terms?
I like that question. So imagine this: you go on a website, you register for a free webinar. Tony Robbins just had a free webinar, right? So you register for a free webinar, and the minute you press send, you get, hey, Oliver, I'm so happy that you registered for Unlimited 2026. This is what you need to do next. You need to save in the calendar. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. That is an automation. You got an automated reply. Yeah. So we're used to automated emails. Where AI comes in is that AI cannot just automate the email, but for example, if you have your automation set up, you can create a visual, say in Gemini or Canva or ChatGPT. And Gemini, for those of you that don't know, is the Google LLM. Um, and so you can create something there, and using Make or Zapier, you can go ahead and connect it so that it not only um, makes the social media post, it posts the social media post, and then it emails you an update on how the media post is performing. That is an automation. That's called agentic AI. So um, then you go from point A to point B. So if you're paying for ChatGPT, there is an agent mode. And so you can go in and say, okay, go in my email, pick out these emails, and give this response. And it will do that. I have used it for my HubSpot, which is a CRM platform that I also host my website. And so go and edit this, segment these emails, do all of that. I would have had to spend hours or pay money for somebody who even knows how to use HubSpot to be able to do those kinds of things. So that's automation.
Good, sounds good, sounds good. Yes, I did show on this platform and this podcast, whereas I use the agent mode on ChatGPT to make some adjustments to my scheduling live here on the podcast self. So agreed, 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 agreed. Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you if you could give some examples, but you don't give me some examples. So,
Yeah, and so the next time when I come on, because I'm looking at the time, the next time that I come on, I'll definitely go ahead and do some mini demos of how you can use different things and all of that good stuff.
yeah. So that's why a check-in. We may not get to do. We may not get to do all that good stuff, but yeah. Trust me, value, value, value.
That's why there's a next time. That's why
Yes,
there's a
yes,
next
yes,
time.
yes, 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 yes. So I'll ask you one more question and then we gonna start to wrap up. So let me ask you, for someone running a small operation, maybe a one-person business, what's the first automation you'd recommend for them?
First of all, I started to grin because they're estimating that in 2026 you will have, in 2026, what year are we in? 2026.
Good.
So they are estimating that in 2026 you will have the first one business solopreneur billion
Yeah, yeah.
dollar business,
I saw
right?
that article, yes.
So I'm excited because if it's a one man show, it's never been the best time to be a one man show.
What a time to be alive.
Um, I would say you need to be able to audit your business. Not every business is the same, and so you need to be able to audit your business. And we also provide AI audits. Um, Myself and also people within our network. So you need to be able to audit your business and identify, right, what is the biggest pain point for you that's a repetitive thing. So for a financial accountant, that's different than a doctor, that's different than a marketer, that's different than a taxi driver, right? But let's look at WhatsApp because we all use WhatsApp. So you should be able, and within WhatsApp, if you have business WhatsApp, you can already do automated responses. So you can do that within WhatsApp Business before AI. WhatsApp Business does not have Meta AI yet. I don't understand why not. Um, but you can connect, for example, your WhatsApp to your Gmail or to your email, whatever the case may be. And that when they come in now and they say, okay, I want to know more, it has automated responses. You get their email, and then from there, it goes to, you can send them an automated email. So for communication, I think automation is where a lot of us will thrive because we get very inundated with a lot of emails, WhatsApp messages, things of that nature. And so I see Super on. Hey, Super. Um,
Hey, big up.
and so I think that that's really an important opportunity there. That helps with productivity. That helps to keep the client informed. That helps communication to flow, right? Um, and so that is one of the key things I think is an area for many entrepreneurs to leverage.
I agree. Marketing, basically, getting your
Yeah,
information out. Yeah.
keeping a communication and keeping it personalized, keeping it customized. I see some people using WhatsApp and they have it automated already, um, but then it stops because they didn't go through the extra steps. And so to do a good automation, you have to think about your business process and the entire workflow. So the workflow is the different steps to go from A to Z, right? And we've had it there for a while. When you send your email, it's not going to the post office and then going somewhere else. It's those steps are automated so that when you press send, it lands where it's supposed to land and all of that good stuff. It's now doing it in a way that it combines the different tools that you use and simplifies your business process.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
And you can
I
use AI to help you think it through. So you can actually like say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to simplify this. I want to automate this. I get stressed about this. Give me the workflow step by step. Ask me the different questions that you may need to be able to give me a solid workflow, right? That's a pro tip, guys. Tell
Mhm.
AI to ask you the right questions.
Yep.
Okay.
Ask it for suggestions, ask it some
And then
prompting
it will
questions for better
exactly.
details and better
And then
information.
it will break it down for you. And then from there you can go like, okay, I need this for that for that, this for that for that. And then you use a tool like make.com or Zappy.
And it tend to they got
And it into that's for the more advanced ones. That's why I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
mention
yeah.
it.
The thing is
That's
when
for the
soon you see workflow, I checking, wow, she bring back and talk here for me. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
even like you see that too, Lindy AI is another one I had
Mm-hmm.
used for some time
Mm-hmm.
as well too. But I actually rather anything because they have a lot of templates to help you. But
Yeah.
you gotta really know
So
what you're
does
doing.
so does Make. Make has I think something like a I want to say 100,000 templates. I could be over exaggerating,
A lot
but
bigger than
it has a lot, and you could do a lot with the free. So that's also a good thing for those of you. And then with and you have to understand business processes a little bit deeper. With Make, it's very visual, so it shows you the connections, but it's still a little bit of a learning curve.
what you say is facts with anything because now you gotta go into the back end of things, check developer side of things and all those type things. So like you say, you gotta know really what you're doing to go on that path. Anyways, so my lovely people, I have to allow our interviewee to take a exit due to time constraints. Let me just put it like that, scheduling. But trust and believe, I personally have to tell you, I thank you so very much for being here today. And I know great things to come. And I really appreciate that you already accepted to come on again in the future. And as you could tell in the chat, people was surely engaged and people want you back. You see? Clem say, yeah, 3 more episodes. He didn't even say one. So I'll say, my people, make sure you give, yeah, make sure you leave some comments. Yeah, you see? The chat thanks you. Yeah, I just going to say, make sure you give Ife some thanks and appreciation in the chat for the knowledge she shared today, and all of that gonna encourage her to come back. Just wink, wink.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a true honor and privilege to be with my people, to share all of the knowledge that I have with my people. I really appreciate it. Again, Oliver, congrats. Continue to stay consistent and do what you need to be doing. And we'll talk more about your AI consultancy and all of that other stuff off air because I'm cooking up something.
Sounds
But
good.
besides that, I would like to tell everyone, save the date, February 26th. It's not too far. Innovate 2026 is happening. We have recently been approved for Caribbean Tech Week. So we're very excited about that. We're going to be representing St. Martin for Caribbean Tech Week, which is that same week. And we will be, of course, sharing more about AI and how to really embed it in your business and scale your business in 2026. So look out for Innovate 2026 on February 26th. This is the first place that I'm sharing it with. And so I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me.
Big things with all over it, and great things alone. I know you're coming with, and anybody who don't know Ife, go follow her. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything, everywhere. Ife Badejo, Islandpreneur. You could spell island and you know how to spell entrepreneur. So just take off the entre and put island. Yeah.
Kenty! Oh, I see
Okay, good.
Kenty too. All right. Well, guys, I really do have to go, but thank you so much for having me.
Blessings, blessings. Appreciate you for coming on. And I'll see you. Okay, okay. So you heard it here first. You heard it here first on the All Over It podcast. Yeah, you see. February 26th, Ife has an event. Like I said earlier, David was in one of her events, and trust me, gems was dropped. David shared some information with me. He's checking like, yo, you had to be there. And I checking by, I wish I was there. So this is me telling you, don't be like me and checking my, I wish I was there. No, be there. Yeah. But look, like Kenty say, gems was dropped. And blessings to you, Kenty. Thank you for joining. That's another Island, St. Martin Island professional, marketing extraordinaire, Kenty. Yeah, doing great things as well. Even when I and David was in our credits agri loan course, Kenty was one of the presenters on marketing and branding. Just so I know. So I know. Anyways. You see, my people. Look, let me tell you like this. This is why we I just come on time. I just start exactly 7 o'clock. I just start the live. I just give it at least 2 or 3 minutes for people to come on. I give you some time. Get yourself together, get your phone or your laptop together so you could come on and catch the value. And look, today still wasn't even enough time. Look, I gotta lie though, we get you a good bit of the questions. We had to, make it work. But yeah, we had a whole demonstration and everything supposed to had to happen as you heard. But don't worry. Ife will be back as she herself declared, and the power of life in it is in the tongue, and what you declare and prophesy, what you put out in the atmosphere is what will return. So yeah, with the grace of God, I have faith that Ife will be back on this All Over It podcast with more gems for all you. Yeah. And what more can I say? This one here, I tell you, you're going to want to go back and watch it because from the start, just the conversation alone, It's things that you needed to hear, things that you know you wanted to hear, things that you probably been thinking about and wondering why it's going on. So, and Ife shed some light tonight. I didn't even have to. I love it. But yeah, my people, is love alone always. And yeah, tonight we had a great interview with a great person, and just know more to come because we dive into, let me say, how starting Islandpreneur and getting on the marketing and AI journey. But next time, like I say, we diving into the demonstration, literally showing people like rightfully Ife had an event she did recently, whereas she created automations for the persons in the room in 4 hours, 4 hour automation. You come, you leave with something tangible of value. So all over podcast is no different, and we should feel graced that Ife was even ready and prepared and even offered to offer us these demonstrations, that is things that she has charged for. Good. So just know value. So make sure, telling you, make sure next time you behind your phone, behind your computer, behind your tablet, your whatever to be, with a pen and a paper, ready to take notes. Honestly, I'll say I just come with value too. So every week you could have your pen and your paper. Next week, week after. But promise you, for sure, for sure, for sure, when Ife come back on, you're gonna want to be here. And if you missed this episode, if you missed the first part, the beginning part, go back, check it out. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And as I mentioned earlier in this episode, all the episodes on my podcast from episode 1 straight up to 41, you can find on my YouTube. On Facebook, not, because Facebook have their way. They decide they deleting things after a certain period of time. But YouTube, I rocks with YouTube about it. So, they got anything that you want to hear about, just know all the episodes right there. I have a financial literacy series, which I literally have a whole playlist separate from the All Over It podcast playlist on my YouTube page, where you could go through the whole financial literacy series I had, whereas Clem and his wife Shanita was interviewed about life insurance. I had an episode where I interviewed someone about dividends. I talked about various different financial avenues, whether it be stock investment, gold and commodities, and you name it. I talk about everything under the sun when it comes to investing, even down to protecting and securing your assets. Good. Check it out. Like I say, I even talk about AI too. That's why I check in no man. My cousin Ife doing big things in AI. We have to collaborate. Look, today started something beautiful. And you'll see she says she working on things and we get that. But don't worry, I knew that already because I don't I don't see this year we doing things. Look, I tell Clem already now, we going to do something this year. And I was serious about that. And I don't even know, like, last week I had a conversation with somebody. I'll say somebody new, but I met them through a close friend. So it's like, they come family just after, you know what I mean, after affiliation. You know where I'm coming from. But like, even after that conversation, it was like, look, we gonna do things this year. You check and I check in. Look, you don't even know the things that you talking about. I done been working on, and that'll show you we on the right track. Like I just say, I'm doing God's work nowadays. Like I really just say that nowadays. Like I am doing God's work. I am living in my purpose, and I feel it. With this, yes, this here is a big part of it, but ain't even only this. And I appreciate that, my brother. Bless up. Like we doing things. I really feel like I'm doing God's work when I come here because it's here to. I am here. I do this to help you, you viewing, so that you could gain some type of value. Feel like, okay, no, I could do this too. I should try this. Okay, when I try it out, okay, this working for me. Bam, down the road, man. Down the road, man. Like a train on the track. Nothing can't stop that again. Once that train get moving, nothing can't stop it again. So just like this podcast, keeping that consistency. And I appreciate even being recognized from Ife and the fact that I am keeping this consistency. But you know, you just watch, so I know you know. We just talk about it all the time. I just tell you all the time. Like I am about that. Consistency is key. You know, that's when you make progress. When you stay consistent about your craft. You check. When you keep chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, two tools that rock and break. Even water could bust a rock in half with consistent drips. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. We staying consistent. We just chipping away and we doing what we gotta do. You know, what God intend for us to do. And anything after that, He gonna take care of. So God bless you, my people. Love alone. A blessed Monday. And I wish I had a blessed week ahead. And I really appreciate you for really taking the time out to come on and rock with me, you know, rocking with the All Over It podcast where we are uncovering it all, always. You check. Yeah, 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 yeah. Check real talk. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, if you got me still like yeah, Ife. Wow. Yeah, but I should drop some gems to this self. Like this is one. Like I don't watch them back now, but this is one I self gotta go and watch back for sure. Like Clem too. When me and Clem had do that interview, me, Clem and Shanita, like I check in by, they drop some gold here, like wow, like gold and diamonds get dropped in my ear self. I had to like knock them out and put them on a platter for myself. Like, whoa. You check like but on a real, if you really come ready and I respect it and I appreciate it and I acknowledge her professionalism, let me say like that. And yeah man, just love alone. So yeah, my people, this is me wrapping up, closing off. And yeah, especially now, my mother calling me, so that's an important call. So yeah, my people, I love you. I love you. Every week, all over podcast. I hear every week, Monday, 7 p.m. AST, Atlanta Standard Time. I gotta tell it to you because Maybe you might be in another country and trying to watch it, and you come on 7 o'clock in your time, and then you check, but how come this man says 7 o'clock? Nah, Atlantic Standard Time, St. Martin time, we on that time zone. Good. So just know, I ain't gonna lie. When I was in Colombia, that had shown me half to know. But anyway, yeah, my people, I love you. Have a blessed week ahead. Have a blessed night, and just know we are covering it all. Catch me here next week again, and yeah, I gonna leave her, when Ife back. I ain't thinking gonna be next week. Yeah, telling you straight. But just know, next week I back here and I come with value for you for sure. Maybe I might do a AI episode just because. Yeah. But we gonna see what going on. Don't worry. Good things for you always. Is love alone, my people. Have a blessed week, like I say. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, subscribe, do all that YouTube, social media stuff, all that good stuff. You don't know. Big up yourself one time, two time. Love alone. Peace.